Yes, sir. Thank you. As we know, in the last topic of August, we have discussed about the reasons of wars. And as we know, me and Pastor Rodney had almost the same point of view, that it started since the creation of the world with the Satan against the God, not obeying to him, etc. And then the first brothers, etc. And today, the topic is that how to end the war. And Islam, in this case, through the Holy Quran and through the messages of the Prophet Muhammad, tells us since his time and warn us about some main events which will take place until the end of time in this world. This is known as the Islamic eschatology. In Christianity is known as Armageddon. Which includes messages about what is going to happen in the future and about the end of time, including the destruction of everything in this world. As we all know, everything in this world has its own beginning and its own end. This is notable about the life of a human being, which is born and will die one day. The same goes for plants, animals, etc. They are born, they give flowers, and they die. And then they are resurrected as well. At least the plants, animals, no. But coming at the question, if there is any special message, I mean your question, if there is any special message or saying in the Holy Quran that the war is going to be over forever, or even from Prophet Muhammad's messages, there isn't such message. I'm trying to explain it below. This is because this world is created in such a way, but Allah or God in the Holy Quran is just guiding us how to reach, I mean all the people, not only Muslims, how to reach the peace through God's message only. So, we do kill each other. We killed each other as humans since the beginning of this world. And there were always fights. The pharaohs, the war with Noah, etc. The war with Abraham against Jewish, etc. So, but God or Allah in the Holy Quran is just guiding us how to reach the peace through God's message only. This is the same in all the books, even before the Quran, even in Torah, even in Bible, even in the Quran. So when God says to keep peace, it is only because God's want that, not because of humans. Humans, by nature, we are created envy, angry, and killer. I mean, in my words. So we can kill each other without any problem and not having any fear of stealing or killing or etc. For this, there are many verses. I mean, for what I'm saying about the God's message for reaching peace. There are many verses in the Holy Quran. Some of them are the verses below. But I have for you only notification from Allah. This is in the Quran as a message of what Prophet Muhammad had to deliver to others. But I have only notification to you people from Allah and his messages, which is the Quran. And whoever disobeys Allah and his messenger himself, then indeed for him is the fire of hell. They will abide therein forever. So God tells us just keep the peace between us and follow the God's message. And the second verse is, but those who are faithless and deny our signs, this may be correct for the atheist mainly. Those who are faithless and deny our signs, that God has created everything, God is omnipotent and powerful, etc. For these people, they shall be inmates of fire, of the fire, and they shall remain in it forever. By nature, the human beings are created arrogant. So the killings and wars has always been part of humanity since the beginning of time on earth. This is why Allah have sent so many messengers and prophets with holy books as well, but even without holy books, just as prophets, messengers, to guide their people into the right path of God. But most of the humans, most of the people, most of their own people even, have always been arrogant towards God and God's messengers, and never been really grateful to him. This is really clear, especially for many prophets sent to the Jewish, and they even killed the prophets. The same, they weren't against Jesus. They didn't accept God's message. And as I mentioned in the last war office, I said that there will always be different wars for different reasons: religious, for money, for power, just for fun, terrorism, whatever. Until the destruction of this world, one of these may be wars between good and bad. For this, in Islam, war has so many borders, which means we are allowed to fight even in the Quran. The same goes for the Bible and the other holy books from God. We are allowed to fight, but there are so many strict borders when we are allowed to fight. And mainly, the war is advised to fight for bringing the rule of God everywhere on earth, but never to force the people of that land to convert in Islam. Sorry to say, this goes different in different sides with Christianity during the time of Christian crusades. Everywhere the Muslims went, they told to those people, do believe in God, do accept Prophet Muhammad and Holy Book. If they didn't accept, they had to fight. If not, they were free forever. The churches were free, the synagogues were free, the priests were free. We have so many stories I mentioned many times. In Istanbul, the same, the Orthodox Church. There is in Bulgaria, in Romania, in Albania, all churches, Catholic and Christian and Orthodox churches. In Greece as well. In Syria, I mentioned last time, there are the church of, what was the language of Jesus? I forgot it again. Aramaic. There is the church of Aramaic, and they speak the language of Jesus or Isa. So it was still saved by Muslims. So the war has so many borders in Islam. And there are 4 main months in Islamic calendar as well, which are, the war is totally forbidden. In those 4 months from 12 months. So there are many borders, and mainly are advised to fight for bringing the rule of God everywhere on earth without forcing anybody to convert to Islam. And for this there is a verse, fight in the way of Allah. Those who fight you, but do not transgress. Indeed, Allah does not like the transgressors. Transgressor, it means if you fight me after bringing the message of God, then I am forced to fight you to save my life. But not to transgress, that if you say, okay, I surrender and I must kill you. This is not allowed in Islam. And another verse, it says, and as often as they kindle the fire of war, the non-believers, Allah, against God, it means, Allah extinguish it, and they go about trying to spread mischief and corruption on earth, whereas Allah does not love those who spread mischief and corruption. About the last wars, according to the question, right? When does the last war will take place? About the last wars, I mentioned above that in Islam, there is a full science called Islamic eschatology, dealing with events of the future, especially those in the last days on this earth, on earth. The Quran gives only short details as hints on any sign that would indicate the hour's imminent arrival. Among the signs of the hour of the last days is the observable disintegration of established familiar, societal, and economical norms. There are some verses for this, which are, then when the word is fulfilled against them, the sinners, we shall produce from them, from the earth, a beast to speak to them, because people did not believe with assurance in our signs. This is one of the signs of the last day for a beast which is going to come. Another sign is of the last days. The nation of Gog and Magog in Arabic are known Ya'juj and Ma'juj. The nations of Gog and Magog will break through their ancient barrier wall and sweep down to scourge the earth. In chapter 21, 96-97. And another version is, and Jesus is a sign of the hour. This is the same for the Christians. This goes the same for the Muslims, that the return, the again coming. That is why we do strongly believe that Jesus was not killed. Because killing, it means dead. But God cannot be dead. So in Islam, we accept that God just took it up and sent it to heaven. We don't know which place, but he was taken by God. This is the advice from the Quran and Prophet Muhammad. And he will come, and he will come down. There is, as we know it, in a minaret of the great mosque of Damascus. And I have pictures of that mosque, that minaret. And another, so the Jesus was part of it. Prophet Muhammad also has mentioned 15 centuries ago about some minor and major signs of the last day. This can be found in the link below, which I'm just sharing with you here, which is about Islamic eschatology and signs of the last days. About the weapons being used, I myself have no clue of it, and I think it is not mentioned in any of Islamic sources about the weapons being used. But for sure, there will be normal guns or tanks or whatever. But maybe it will be weapons as Bill Gates mentioned 10 years ago, when he said that 10 years later, it will not be a guns war, but will be a biological war. Who knows? He mentioned about the virus, I think, yeah. While about the consequences, there are so many, I guess, and in different forms. About the concept, I mean, according to your question, the consequences will be so many, I guess, and in different forms. Demolition, destroying, moral going down. There's no morality, no ethics, nothing, no sincerity. Knowledgeable people will be erased, will be sent out, will be kept aside. Knowledgeable people. The unethical things will be promoted as moral things. girls wearing as men and men wearing dressing like a girl. It is part even of gays, and prostitution will be opened, will be made openly. So these are some of the signs of the last days, which is this, what I said, the last one is obvious in nowadays life, unfortunately. And some other consequences will be in losing many innocent human beings. As we all know now, out of nothing, people are dying. Consequences in morality, economy, in knowledge, losing religion, etc. And I want to finish it, to conclude with a message of Prophet Muhammad when he was asked. He was in a group of Muslims in his time, and he said, "I have left you as a supporter of you. I left you two things." This hadith or saying of Prophet Muhammad goes about the peace and how to over the war, let's say. "I have left you, Muslims and people, two main things, which if you follow them, you will never go astray. These are the book of God, the Quran, and my practice known as Sunnah." For this, when his wife Aisha was once asked, "What is Muhammad for you as your husband?" she replied, he is a walking Quran, meaning that he just lives according to the message of God in the Quran, and we don't have any story that he killed someone out of nothing, that the poor were with him, even his family members who hated him at the beginning when he conquered Mecca, when he took over Mecca, he just told them, "You just live in peace, even as atheists, doesn't matter. You just live in peace, you are protected, because this is Islam, a message of God." And thank you.